So you're thinking about buying a home, and like most home buyers, you've probably started your search on one of the major websites like Zillow or Realtor.com. And after a while, what tends to happen is that perfect home comes up, right? And you're excited, you want to go see it, but maybe you don't have an agent for whatever reason. And if that's the case, you might be considering requesting a tour through the Zillow website. And I understand for a lot of people, this can be somewhat intimidating, especially if you don't know what to expect. So in today's video, I'm going to walk you through what to expect after you submit that request. So you're thinking about buying a home, and like most home buyers, you've probably started your search on one of the major websites like Zillow or Realtor.com. And if you're like any of the clients that I've helped from Zillow, you are probably spending a godly amount of hours looking at homes, educating yourself on market trends, what homes are selling for, prices and inventory levels, and so on. It's probably starting to feel like a full-time job for you. And after a while, what tends to happen is that perfect home comes up, right? It's got the RV bay garage your husband's been wanting, or it's got that massive island with the farmhouse sink that every wife seems to want right now. And you're excited, you want to go see it, but maybe you don't have an agent for whatever reason. Maybe you're a first-time home buyer, or possibly it's just been so long since you purchased your last home, you don't remember who sold it to you. And if that's the case, you might be considering requesting a tour through the Zillow website. And I understand for a lot of people, this can be somewhat intimidating, especially if you don't know what to expect after you request that tour. So in today's video, I'm going to walk you through what it looks like to request a tour, but then I'm going to spend the bulk of the time talking about what to expect after you submit that request for the tour. All right, so the first thing that we need to do is schedule a tour. So let's go ahead and jump on my computer here real quick and take a look at that. And as you can see here, we have a beautiful home. And so I'm going to go ahead and click on this request tour button. It pops up with the listing. It's going to show us a couple days that we can pick from, and then we can select a time that works best for us. And the next page, they're going to have us confirm our contact information, where it is going to require you to put in your first name, your email, and phone number. This is how Zillow is going to call you back once they have an agent ready to help you. And down at the bottom, there is a box that you can check or uncheck that says, I want financing information. But if you leave that check, just know that you are going to get contacted by lenders after you submit this request. So that's something to be mindful of. And then what we do is we just go ahead and request a tour. Okay, so we have submitted our request for the showing, but now what happens? Well, let me give you some insight onto the back end on what's going on. Zillow is taking your contact information, the listing information, and the tour request information. They are going to then ring a handful of agents in the general area. The first agent to answer that phone call will be the agent that you get connected with. And then Zillow shares that information so the agent can go about scheduling that tour for you. Now, full disclosure, there are a couple things you guys need to be aware of. One, and this is probably the biggest misconception I get from clients I've helped that have come over from Zillow, is they think they're getting connected with the seller's agent or the listing agent. And that is just not the case. They're gonna get you connected with a local agent that can help you from the first showing all the way through the closing process to where you're actually getting the keys for your home. And you also, as a buyer, I highly recommend you have your own agent representing you and not the seller's agent. The second thing you guys need to know is either that agent that you're being connected with or their brokerage is paying for this connection. Zillow connections are not free. In fact, they are some of the most expensive connections realtors can buy. So I just want you guys to be aware of that and know that up front. Now, after Zillow has rang those agents and one has answered, they are going to then call you back with a live connection. And they're going to introduce you and the agent, and then the agent's going to kind of take over that phone call, and you guys will work together on getting the showing scheduled that you wanted to check out and answer any other questions that you guys might have at that time. Now, depending on the home, whether it's vacant or occupied, that could determine how long it's going to take the realtor to get the home scheduled. Sometimes it's just a couple hours, other times it can be more than that. But normally it's not too bad. After the agent confirms with you, you guys will meet up at the property and do your tour. All right, so let's go ahead and wrap up this process. So we started looking at homes and requested a tour through Zillow. You were connected with a local agent, and now they have confirmed that appointment for you. So when you guys go on this home tour, this is something you should think about taking advantage of, because you want to be able to interview this agent while you're out there. You know, ask them some direct questions and be honest with them about where you're coming from and what your goals are and your timeline is. Agents more than likely going to ask you that anyways, but definitely make sure it's a good fit for you. Make sure the agent's been doing this for at least a few years. I highly recommend getting a full-time agent. You want someone that is motivated and dedicated, and this is what they do for their full-time job. I would say probably 80% of agents out there are part-timers, and you probably have 20% of agents that this is how they make their living. And I just feel like the people that are in this full-time and this is how they put food on the table, they're gonna take it a little bit more seriously. So make sure you have a good connection with this person. You're probably gonna be working with them for the next 4 to 12 months. That is very common. The realtor should be a resource for you. They should be able to have connections to lenders that are gonna take care of you guys. The realtor has all the tradesmen and contractors and inspectors that you're gonna need to successfully get through the inspection phase of that home and feel confident that you're making the right decision. But be prepared for some questions from the agent, like, where you're at in the buying process. Have you spoken with a lender regarding your finances? What is your timeline? Are you renting? Do you need to sell? Stuff like that. Those are the base questions that we generally tend to ask just to get a feel for where people are at and what their urgency level is. That's all I have for you guys in this one. I hope you guys got some value out of it. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. It definitely helps out. But until next time, I will see you in the next one.